Well, I guess Diddy really does run the city. What? Well, you've all been waiting for it with bated breath. And of course, now the time has arrived. The wait is over. Jason Black and the business of the definitive school of power dynamics weighs in on the case. We've been following it for years. If you'll remember from the very beginning, I said that this was not a sex trafficking case. Damn sure wasn't racketeering. It was the government with their usual politics trying to crush somebody, take their money, and whatnot. So, of course, that was going on there. Now, let's go ahead and deal with some things here before we get into my predictions, because as you all know, I love to give predictions about where things are going to go so you can see whether or not you have a reliable source of information going forward. But let's deal with some of the problems here from the beginning. Let's deal with some of the issues from the beginning. The reason why so many people were so confused, the reason why so many people were so confused about what was happening was this was a deliberate, shameless, devious, dirtbag attempt by a prosecutor up there in New York, Damian Williams, U.S. attorney there, and folks didn't understand the case because nobody, the U.S. attorney deliberately didn't make it clear what the case was. People heard sex trafficking, and the U.S. attorney refused to spell out exactly what is it you're defining sex trafficking as in relation to this particular case. And he deliberately would not make it clear what it was until after they got in court. Then he told you that he's trying to invoke some novel new definition of sex trafficking to say that, well, you all think of sex trafficking as the new term for pimp. But this is him saying that, no, you're the sex trafficker as the customer. What? If you're the person paying for the sex, well, you're the sex trafficker. If they cross state lines, you're the sex trafficker for paying for it, not for facilitating it, not for being the pimp. You're the sex trafficker as the customer. He didn't articulate that before they went into court. So the Cassie video and all these things to demonize Diddy, he came in with this pathetically weak case that he was hoping that he could get to float until eventually he'd have to say exactly what it was that he was trying to pin on Diddy. What exactly is the real issue? And when he showed up, that's what he wound up saying. But wait, it gets worse. It gets worse. Remember, they also charged Diddy with quote, unquote, racketeering. Charged him with racketeering without actually explaining to you beforehand what exactly is the quote criminal racket that Sean Diddy Combs has been running all this time. What exactly is the criminal racket that you're referring to? He's not a pimp, so it's not like he's not running a whorehouse. He's not running a sex trafficking operation. What exactly is it that you are defining as a racket? He wouldn't say what it was until after they got into court. And once again, he wants to come up with a new novel definition of racketeering to say that, well, yeah, the money that Diddy makes in the music business, that's legitimate money, but because you're spending it on illegal things, well, that converts it into illegal money. Thus now it's an illegal enterprise. Thus now it's a racket.
Nigga, what?
No, folks, that was what they were trying to argue in court. that, yeah, Diddy's money is legitimate, but if you're paying for illegal things, especially in the quantities he does, well, now you're a criminal enterprise. This is literally what they were saying. That, yeah, your income might be legal, but if you spend it on illegal things, well, now that converts your business into a criminal enterprise because you spend it on illegal things. They're not moving the goalpost. They're taking the damn thing clean off the planet. They're taking the goalposts clean, slap the hell off the planet. And everyone has been incredibly confused. I heard everybody talking about, well, now they're trying to say that getting a chick flued out is sex trafficking because you kept hearing them say sex trafficking in connection to Cassie. Cassie was a willing participant. So what they were trying to say was that, well, no, because Diddy's an abusive boyfriend, he was forcing Cassie to have sex with all these people. So doesn't that count as sex trafficking? He's trafficking his girlfriend, even though she's not being paid or nothing. He's trafficking his girlfriend because she's intimidated and scared to say no. They were trying to say that was sex trafficking too. That too is sex trafficking. This is how outrageous their allegations were once you actually get into court and hear what they had to say. This is what they were telling you was the illegality. Well, he's taking Cassie across state lines and he's forcing her to have sex with people, so that's sex trafficking. He doesn't have to be a customer. You're forcing her. The White Slavery Act, which is literally what the Mann Act was called. Everyone talks about the Mann Act, but its real name was the White Slavery Act. It's for white slavery. Okay, but you only see them trying to use it against black men. You can't name any white men who have been prosecuted under the Mann Act. And to this very day, that's what they're doing. To this very day. So that's what you end up running into here. And so in the Diddy case, nobody wanted to say what it actually was. The prosecutor refused to say what his actual legal rationale was for filing the charges, for prosecuting the case, what it was supposed to be about. He refused to say what it was and articulate it clearly to the public, which is why people were so damn confused. They thought that Diddy was being prosecuted for bringing Cassie to LA to have sex with people. And that's not actually what it was. Now, they tried to pitch that as a rationale, say, oh, well, she was forced to go out there. And then to show you that they knew that they were lying the whole time. The judge should have kicked the case out. He should have dismissed the case. As soon as the prosecutor's talking about, oh, we want to drop some of the charges and dismiss some of the charges. Well, some of the charges that you already presented evidence for. The judge should have declared a mistrial and dismissed the case right then, right there. Should have kicked it out and dismissed it right then, right there. A prosecutor, that's under bad faith. He walked into court presenting a bunch of damaging narrative about Diddy, knowing that the things he was saying were not crimes. And then right before it's time to hand it to the jury, okay, we want to dismiss those charges. We want to dismiss that part of it. But you've already presented the negative information. So knowing that's what they were doing, they presented all the negative information first and then said, okay, we want to drop those charges. Well, then obviously you didn't feel you could win on them. You didn't think you could win that from the beginning. No, we just want to get in there and present the negative information. And hopefully the jury carries that over into everything else. Well, that negative information isn't relevant. Yeah, but ain't no rules over here. And that prosecutor should have been Mike Nifong. Now, when Mike Nifong did that to the Duke lacrosse players, that was they went ahead and got him in the court. When Mike Nifong attempted to do that, they went and grabbed him. They told him, oh no, you can't do that. You cannot do that. Not at all. You're not going to be able to sit up here and go in there and tell people that and put together some bogus case. You're not going to be able to do that. And yet that's exactly what they allowed him to do. And that's why I told people that, yeah, this is a corrupt judge on top of everything else. This is a corrupt judge on top of everything else. The judge is in on this. So it was the prosecutor and the judge working together. That's what you had. You had a prosecutor and a judge who were both working together and working in tandem. And of course, that's supposed to be beyond illegal, but that's what they were doing. They were working together on this because folks had ambitions and they had things they were trying to do. So that's the reason why you saw that occur, even though it's very clearly illegal, very clearly dirty. The public did not understand because the prosecutor did not want you to understand because, yeah, it wasn't so great, and understood that. It wasn't so great. The case was not a weak case. The case was a phony case. It wasn't weak. It was phony. It was a false case. It was not a legitimate case from the very beginning. It was a case that was being trumped up because there are folks out there who are unhappy about things. And as we've always told you here, you know, they're going to come back to see if they can claw back anything you've gotten or anything you've done. They're going to see if they can claw that back. That is the whole goal the whole time. We're going to see if we can take that back. We're going to see if we can steal it. So that was my grievance here. My grievance here, and just understand something here. So there are a lot of folks here who they got the wrong ideas about things. They got the wrong idea about things because you all, there are a lot of folks, and the problem with the internet is that people are allowed to have their petty grievances in there. They're allowed to do that. Folks are allowed to get online and say all manner of idiocy and nonsense. We have a chronically, criminally immature portion of the population, and you have folks out here who don't like Diddy. Here's the issue. The issue is not whether or not you like him. That's not the point. And that's not even supposed to be something that comes up. That's not supposed to be something that even comes up. Because you're supposed to be smarter than that. You're supposed to be smarter than that to understand that you don't let them trump up folk on false charges because today it's Diddy, tomorrow it could be you or your children. You don't. Your job is to make sure the government is limited to only what the law allows, and that it goes that far and no further. That's what you're supposed to be doing. And so they also understood that in the general public, there are some folks out there that they're just haters. They're not concerned about what the evidence is. They're dealing with mommy issues, daddy issues. They're talking about whether or not they don't like, Diddy personally. Nobody asked you if you're friends with him. Nobody asked if you want to be buddies with him. The question is, was it illegal? The question is it illegal? And it's a damn shame that Diddy has had to spend, millions of dollars just to get the obvious acknowledged that nothing illegal happened here. I think the problem is a lot of folks are upset. Can we just be honest? A lot of folks are upset because they see their mama in Cassie.
Auntie, chill.
I said that. There are a lot of folks out there that they're upset and angry because they see their mama in Cassie. They're not happy about it because, can you just tell the truth? I mean, that was your mama getting beat down by thugs and dudes for drugs, and they like hanging out in them environments. And rather than have an honest moment with yourself and just reconcile that and say, okay, that's it, they're not saying that. They're not saying that. Now, there's some folks out there who are very unhappy, very displeased, and I'm very glad that they are very displeased. Megyn Kelly in particular, Megyn Kelly, white supremacist newscaster, former newscaster. She isn't anymore, thank goodness, but Megyn Kelly is very unhappy about the situation. She was very displeased about it, and I am very thrilled that Megyn Kelly is very displeased about it. Well, here's the problem. Megyn decided to bring on some folks so she could discuss it because she just knew there was going to be a lynching, and the jury has unfortunately spoiled her fun. She had some guests, some legal analysts on here, and I want you all to hear what they had to say in regard to this case. Well, I want you to hear what one of them in particular had to say.
Interesting, and he's probably going to win that, I think. We'll see. Bringing in now Arthur Aidala, famed criminal defense attorney, but also has a history as a prosecutor back when he was younger. Just got off of the Harvey Weinstein trial himself. And your reaction, Arthur, to the breaking news that Sean Combs basically won this case, but for 2 prostitution counts.
It's a tremendous victory. And here's why I'm personally happy. The prosecutor who brought the case, Damian Williams, I don't think he was a good guy. I don't think he was a good U.S. attorney in the Southern District. I think his personal ambitions just clouded his judgment. I mean, he was going around telling people quietly that he was positioning himself to run for president of the United States. And he wanted...
Nigga, what?
What? Damn! What? How many of you had heard that? Now, this isn't Jason Black talking. This is Megyn Kelly with lawyers on the record in New York telling you that, by the way, this jackass U.S. attorney, Damian Williams, he thought he was going to use this, the Rudy Giuliani strategy, use this as a leg up. Why, he was even quietly telling people that he was going to run for president based on this. So if y'all want to know why it is that you got prosecutors out there going after Young Thug and going after, you know, your rappers and whatnot, and meanwhile white men running criminal enterprises like illegal aliens picking the agriculture industry, nobody says anything to them. Well, now you know why. Fannie Willis and so many others. So I'm not bringing you what somebody else told me. I'm bringing you the first person accounts directly from the sources. And oh yeah, in case you were wondering, Megyn Kelly, who is salty as hell, had to sit there and bow down and have her legal analyst say, by the way, this was not a good case. The prosecutor is not a good dude. And that there was skullduggery and chicanery going on.
2 prostitution counts.
It's a tremendous victory. And here's why I'm personally happy. The prosecutor who brought the case, Damian Williams, I don't think he was a good guy. I don't think he was a good U.S. attorney in the Southern District. I think his personal ambitions just clouded his judgment. I mean, he was going around telling people quietly that he was positioning himself to run for president of the United States. And he wanted to bring down Combs. He wanted to bring on the mayor of the city of New York. That was his ambition. And the conviction rates are so high in the Southern District that once you get indicted, it's over 90% when you go to trial. So this is a huge victory for the defense, for Sean, because there's no mandatory minimum. You know, you and I spoke yesterday. All these other counts, the judge, if it was his uncle, has to send him to prison. but that's not the case here. However, I don't think this judge is going to give him a walk in the park either.
No, he didn't, because the judge is salty and angry because he was in on it. The judge was going to do his part to uphold injustice. And so the judge figured it was going to be a slam dunk, and Diddy just had decent enough lawyers. And here's the crazy part. Diddy has decent lawyers. What about all the people who get railroaded through federal court and don't have competent attorneys? Because most attorneys are not competent. What? I said that. Most attorneys are not competent. So for you to get an attorney like A$AP Rocky had, or attorneys like Brian Steele, who got Young Thug off and then Diddy, but who was able to help get them out of these jams. You get a Brian Steele, you get these other folk, man, those are rare. That's not common. Most of your attorneys are not ready for this. They're not competent for it. So you walk into federal court and you can't get the law actually applied to you. And you have a judge who's sitting there ready to just rubber stamp whatever happens. You don't get an Alex Spiro like Jay-Z does. You don't get one of those. You get whoever the hell you get, and the feds just run your ass through the ringer, and that's it. And Megyn Kelly likes that idea. And these other folk like that idea, and the judge in Diddy's case got upset when he saw what was happening, that the jury was actually getting accurate information. So now the judge is salty. The only thing left is prostitution. The feds don't lock people up for prostitution for no 5 or 10 years. Diddy's supposed to be sitting at home right now. Diddy's supposed to be sitting on the couch right now with his baby oil and doing whatever the hell he do. Diddy's supposed to be at home right now, but you see, the judge is humiliated. The judge is humiliated. The judge is embarrassed. He should have dismissed the case. He didn't do it. Now he's got egg all over his face. So now he's salty and angry about it too. He was collaborating with the corrupt U.S. attorney, and the case blew up in their faces. Now they both look booty and stupid, and now they're upset and angry. So the most they can do is try to do some garbage. So Diddy's attorneys now know they basically are going to have to circumvent this judge and work on an appeal for Diddy, because it's very clear this judge is not going to do what he's supposed to do. Now they're talking about sentencing Diddy in like October, from what I read. They're talking about sentencing him in October, and the judge is like, Diddy still presents a risk. He presents a risk to the public and a threat to witnesses, so he needs to be held until October. So the judge is angry and upset because he looks like a jackass, which he is. Matter of fact, if you see his picture, he literally looks like a jackass. Damn! And not a cute one either. Not the Shrek Eddie Murphy jackass. He looks like an old nag. He looks like an old worn out paper bag. He looks like an old colostomy bag. So in any case, folks are upset. Folks are angry. Except me. See, my dog in the fight is for accuracy and justice. I don't have a personal axe to grind on it. I'm not rooting for Diddy. I was rooting against corrupt officials. You always win when you got that. You always win as a person when you got that. Some people, however, the problem is in the internet age, a lot of folks, life didn't work for you the way you wish it had. And I want to see somebody get took down. Nigga, you already down. Look in the mirror. If you want to see somebody who got defeated and beaten, look in the mirror. I'm bored looking at me. Okay. Now, on top of everything else here, now Cassie is being sued. What? So since Cassie likes folks getting sued so much, one of the sex workers is saying Cassie gave them an STD. So they're suing Cassie and Diddy. So now Cassie, it's a good thing you got all the millions, because you're going to have to get off of some. And by the way, since you're the one who opened the door for this exploitation, extortion racket through the court systems, I wouldn't be surprised if a bunch of other folks are lined up to say, hey, Cassie, we heard you sitting on 30 million of them things. We came to get our cut. And by the way, for Cassie, she wants to know about embarrassment. Hey, Cassie, now you and your husband and your children get run through court so they can hear all the juicy details about all the STDs that you've had and given. So you get to be publicly questioned and publicly interrogated about all the STDs that you've gotten and passed around. So Alex Fine gets to hear all of the musty, putrid details. And this is just the first one. I suspect there will be others. So she might want to hold back some of that money she thought was going to come rolling in, because I suspect there will be others. Now, there are some people who are saying, well, Jason, why is it that if Diddy was going to be prosecuted for having a bunch of hoes, why is it that Cassie wasn't? Well, that was the little strategy that Damian Williams tried to put in at the beginning. Basically, y'all, it's like John Gotti and Sammy the Bull. Cassie basically flipped, and they were like, okay, Cassie, you gonna flip and testify against Diddy. So that's the reason she didn't get charged, people. Okay, if you testify against Diddy, we won't pursue charges against you. So the whole operation was set up to get him. They were targeting him. She cooperated with them to get him. And right now, there's a whole bunch of folk looking over their damn shoulders. They were telling themselves, damn, Diddy ain't never gonna get out. Diddy about to get Suge Knighted. He's never gonna get out. We'll never have to worry. He's never gonna return. And let me explain to y'all, now we get to this other part of it. Let me go ahead and get to the other part of it here and let you all know what's coming up next. You see, here's the thing. Don't tell me a damn thing about Diddy. Jeffrey Epstein has a whole damn island. What? Jeffrey Epstein got a whole damn island, and you talking about sending Diddy to jail for a hotel room at the Mandarin Oriental? If you don't get your crazy ass up out of here. Now, let me explain to you all what's going to happen going forward. You can start writing these points down if you want to. I didn't have time to make the whole checklist on the screen for you here, but you can write this down if you want to. First of all, when Diddy gets out of prison, he's going to be bigger than Gotti. What? I said it. The only thing that will stop him is if he just goes into seclusion. If Diddy just goes underground and goes into seclusion, then yeah, it won't happen. But if Diddy stands 10 toes down, if Diddy leans into it, if Diddy embraces it, if Diddy says, okay, I used to be famous, now I'm infamous, Diddy is gonna come out of prison bigger than John Gotti. His release will be bigger than Larry Hoover, bigger than Big Meech. It will be the biggest prison release since Mike Tyson and Tupac. Real talk. Rappers have spent decades comparing themselves to white men, comparing themselves to Trump. If they got out of a criminal case, they compared themselves to Gotti. Now they're going to have the real damn thing. They're going to be comparing themselves to beating the case like Diddy. You do understand this is Diddy's second rodeo, right? Damn. Remember, this is the second time that Diddy has been to court facing felonies. Remember, this is not the first. This is the second. Now, the first one was decades ago with J-Lo at the club and whatnot, but that was the first one. This is the second. So Diddy done beat the case not once but twice. you would be downgrading comparing yourself to John Gotti. You would be downgrading comparing yourself to Trump. In reality, now you got the real damn thing. So it would be a downgrade if you're a rapper comparing yourself to Gotti. There's somebody above Gotti now in the real world. So when Diddy comes out, unless he just goes into complete seclusion, he is going to be bigger than Gotti. And there are benefits that come with that. But if you don't believe me, okay, don't believe Jason. Believe Diddy's enemies.
Damn!
Oh, folks, no less than 50 Cent letting the salt flow. Oh, 50 Cent is letting the salt flow. Even 50 is acknowledging Diddy as being Gotti. This is not Jason Black telling you that Diddy is being compared to Gotti. Even 50 Cent is saying it. Even 50 Cent got to bow down and say, damn, daddy. Oh, it went bad for him. You can't come out like Diddy just did and think you went. It went all the way bad. Went all the way bad. He can call him gay John Gotti. You also got to call him walking, which 50 couldn't say. So, it's one of those things. 50 can say whatever he wants to about it, but it's like, by the way, 50, he out here. So this is 50's Instagram post. 50 just couldn't believe it. Damn, I guess Diddy really does run the city. I guess he really does. So even 50 has had to acknowledge that Diddy is bigger than Gotti now. Oh, man. All right, Jason, what's next? Okay, if Diddy doesn't go into seclusion, if Diddy doesn't become a hermit, if Diddy stands 10 toes down and embraces being infamous, well, Jason, how can it turn out well? Let me tell y'all something right now. Everybody is going to want to do an interview with Diddy. Can you all imagine how much Diddy can charge for his first interview after he gets out? Can you imagine how much he'll be able to charge ABC, NBC, CNN, Club Shay Shay? Oh, y'all don't want me to go down. Y'all didn't think it over. Club Shay Shay, Pierce Morgan, Logan Paul, Patrick Bet David, The Breakfast Club, you name it. How much do y'all think Diddy can charge for his first interview, fresh out the joint? Oh, you didn't think this through. You didn't project this down the road. I already did. I said, do you realize how big he gonna be and how much? There's nobody who's doubting me right now. No one can doubt how much he can charge whatever the hell he wants to. Oh, it starts in the millions. Millions. Do you really think that the Cat Williams interview is gonna get more views than Diddy?
Nigga, what?
Do you really think? Come on now. You might be a hater, but don't be stupid. Okay, be a hater. Just don't be a dummy. You saw how many views Cat Williams got on Club Shay Shay, and you didn't even see that coming. Can you imagine how many views the first Diddy interview can get? If Cat Williams got, 100 million views, how many you think Diddy gonna get? It'll be bigger than Trump on Rogan. It'll be bigger than Trump on Rogan. Folks didn't think this over. People didn't actually think this over. I'm telling you, everybody and their mama is gonna want to get an interview with Diddy. Everybody. The only way he don't get the bag is if he just doesn't want it, if he doesn't make himself available, if he just turns down everything that's offered to him. If he just turns it all down, then it ain't gonna happen. If Diddy says Diddy run the city, he leaning into it, man, look here. That's a wrap. There's nobody who doesn't think that there's at least tens of millions in getting an interview with Diddy when he walk out. Oh, you want me to give you more? That's not it. You want me to give you more? Because that's not all of it. Oh man, are you ready for the rest? Okay, I'm gonna give it to you. Let me tell y'all something. Back in the rap game, Diddy's gonna be bigger than ever in the rap game. Diddy will be bigger than ever. Listen to me. All you gangster rappers, all your drill rappers, all your Boosies, all your G's, everybody gonna want to be with Diddy. Everybody is gonna want to be seen. Rick Ross, anybody looking to get their gangster cred up, you gonna have to go through Diddy to get it. Not Suge Knight, Diddy. Diddy, you're gonna have to go through him to get it. Everybody and their mama looking to get on is gonna be trying to call him. Everyone. He will, and let me tell you something else. Not only is he gonna be the biggest thing in rap, he is going to have no problem, zero problems getting female collaborators.
Damn!
Oh, all your female rappers gonna want to be with Diddy. Let me tell you something. Do you all think that there aren't a million sexy reds out there who will gladly get their sponsors to pay $5 or $10 million to twerk on Diddy in a video? You think there's not a million Sukihanas lined up at the door as we speak? You think that ain't what it is? You think they all gonna be like, oh, I can't fool with Diddy, look what he did to Cassie. You think that's what they're gonna say? Would you like to bet your life on it? Would you like to wager and bet your life on it? Sergeant King, so glad you said that. Let me go ahead and get you up on Zoom. Very glad you said that there, Sergeant King. Let's go ahead and get you up on Zoom here. Very glad to hear that. Very glad to hear that. I don't mind you being a hater. Go ahead and do that so you can go ahead and explain to everybody exactly what it is that they're not seeing about it. Let me go ahead and get you on up here. So Sergeant King has 2 minutes to be on Zoom. There's the link to the Zoom. So let's go ahead and get Sergeant King up here so that he can go ahead and articulate to everyone exactly where he stands on that. Let's go ahead and get Sergeant King up here for that. Let's go ahead and get you up here on Zoom. He's got 2 minutes to be on Zoom or permanent vacation, and if he refuses to go on Zoom, he can go on vacation now. Just remember, you destroy your own point if you're too scared to say anything about it. By the way, you destroy your own point. So I don't have to debunk you, you do. Just saying. In any case, folks, do you think there's not going to be a million Sukihanas? A million sexy reds? A million young Miamis? A million Cassies?
Auntie, chill!
Every female with her Instagram, IG page twerk, they gonna be lined up. They will be lined up. Do you think there is a single up-and-coming female rapper who is going to turn down a feature with Diddy? A single one who actually got a career in front of them, not some washed-up hoes with a career that died years ago. For the chicks on the come up, you think they got a problem with Diddy? I want you to put your money on this. Say, Jason, you wrong. The sisterhood ain't never going to do that. Somebody said cooking with Kaya.
Damn! Damn.
Man, you don't think Cooking with Kaya gonna be dining with Diddy?
Nigga, please.
Cooking with Kaya will be dining with Diddy. Real talk. So that anybody who questions it, baby, there's a million females. There are a million sexy reds, a million Doja Cats, a million Sukihanas, a million Cassies out there waiting in the wings for their chance, waiting to get the call, waiting to get the green light, and their backers will pay $1 million, $2 million, $5 million for a feature. You think these folk won't pay $5 or $10 million for a feature with Diddy fresh out the joint? Are you kidding me? Top of the algorithm, top of the suggestions page, top of the shorts list, especially if the song is a banger. Especially if the song is a banger. Man, come on. You really think there's a single chick on the come up gonna turn it down? Even somebody said Angela Simmons will do it all damn day. All damn day. So if there's between interviews and features, if Diddy doesn't just go into seclusion and hiding, if he leans into this and says, yes, I am not the most famous, I'm the most infamous. And let me go a little bit further with y'all. You think there aren't a million young Miamis out here who will bite your face off to get to be his new woman or to get a record deal? Some of y'all crazy and stupid and think the game done changed. But I'm going to take you even further. Damn, Jason, you killing us. You're making the case insurmountable. I'm going to keep going. Just in case you're doubting the veracity. Look it up. Just in case you are doubting the validity of what I'm saying. People, have you checked your damn Instagram and your YouTube lately? There are people who they live for shock value. Have y'all seen all these prank videos? There are people currently getting arrested. Johnny Somali and these other, there are folks out here getting arrested overseas for prank videos. Arrested. Knowingly messing with police overseas, trying to get arrested just so they can get 1 million views on YouTube. Y'all see all these females fighting each other on Baddies, Baddies Africa, Baddies Beijing, Baddies Mars. What? Take a look at the stuff folk are doing for attention, man. You think they got scruples and principles? What the hell planet you just immigrated in from? How long you been here? 2 minutes? You think when cash money is actually on the table to be gained, and we're talking tens of millions of dollars in a world of Dave Portnoy and Mr. Beast and baddies, you think when there's tens of millions of dollars to be gained, and it's not just hypothetical, that it's real cash money, you think that these women are going to have any problem snuggling up to Diddy? You think they won't walk right over your black ass and go snuggle up to Diddy? Do you think that's going to be an issue? With all the instant publicity and instant money that they'll be able to get? And y'all, have you looked at your YouTube, your Instagram, your TikTok in the last 8 years? And seen what people do on a regular basis with no celebrities around and for $0? Have you seen what they do for no money? Oh, Tinashe will run your ass over in her Honda Civic to get a feature with Diddy.
And deal with it, nigga.
Are you kidding me? And we won't even talk about the chicks who are on the come up, the chicks with their breast tats, their butt tats, their thigh tats. Are you kidding me? You didn't think this over. You didn't think this through. Have you looked at your internet feed lately? Have you looked at your timeline and see what people are doing on a regular basis? No record deal, no TV deal, no movie deal, just to get on, just to be seen. Just for somebody to recognize them. Look what they're willing to do. And you telling me about what they won't do for Diddy? You tell me Diddy would be a bridge too far. Well, being next to Diddy, that would be too much. That would be a bridge too far. I can't do that. Either you don't have social media, you don't have a video site, you haven't looked at anything on YouTube in the last decade. Clearly you haven't watched anything. Is there anybody with two brain cells to rub together who doubts for a second that if Diddy opened the damn door, the hoes gonna come running through? They gonna be fist fighting in the lobby to attend the next freak off, to have him on a feature, to show up on the album. These females want to be more notorious than the men. The females are more masculine than the males today. These females will be like, man, straight gangster. Mr. and Mrs. John Gotti. Mr. and Mrs. Diddy. Man, are you out of your mind? The females will be lined up to get that spot. The young up and coming chicks, the chicks trying to get on Instagram. Do you realize how hard it is just to get seen? They're going to be lined up to do it. You'll be sitting there trying to judge and talking garbage and all that mess. Them little young bros going to walk right over your ass. They're going to walk right over you. You're going to be looking like the preachers at the church. Think about your eternal soul. She's going to be think about my shoe sole over your face. Move. However, you might disagree. Therefore, the link to the Zoom is now open. You have your opportunity to go ahead and give us a call. If you agree, if you disagree, that's perfectly fine as well. You have the option to go ahead and do that. We're having a conversation here tonight that Diddy was found guilty. We're asking the question, will he be bigger than ever? My prediction is if he doesn't go into seclusion, if he leans into this, y'all, he's going to be bigger than ever. In the internet era, when it comes to infamy, Diddy will be the most infamous person, not in rap, but in music, in media. Folks, you say whatever the hell you want to. Diddy has been a master of projection and media image. He will see this as a marketing issue and a marketing puzzle to figure out. And my prediction is he will come to the same conclusions that I did. If you don't run from this, if you lean into this, if you're not ashamed, if you don't let folks sit up here and beat you in seclusion, if you take on the thing, I'm not famous, I'm infamous. If Diddy looks at this and starts saying to himself what he always has, how can I market this? How can I flip this? How can I turn this around? How can I make this useful? If he does, he'll come to the same conclusions I did. If he does, he'll come to the same conclusions I did. And if he uses that, he will be bigger than ever. He'll be bigger than ever. That's my prediction, only if he leans into it. However, you might disagree, so if you do, therefore the Zoom link is pinned at the top of the chat room. You can definitely go ahead and click on that to join us. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Shout out to my man, River Ashes. I am the exact type of woman that you go in on. I've been listening to you for years. You tell no lies. Thank you very much, man. We appreciate that here. Marion Jackson, Chris B. Landon, my man, Sir Shy. I'm happy Diddy beat those 3-5, but that man act was some BS still. Cassie and J-Lo should have been exposed. Also, I want to know who killed Biggie. All right, brother, well, stay at it. Keep the faith. My man, Pharaoh's Kingdom, Ivy the Great. Thank you all very much for your support here as well. We appreciate that. Let me go ahead and see if I can get Zoom user up here on Zoom. Let me go ahead and see if I can get Zoom user up here. All right, I got my man Zoom user up here. What's on your mind, brother?
Hmm.
You're on. Oh, I don't think he's hearing us here. Brother, you are on. You're slowing us down.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's on your mind?
Okay. Okay. What's up, Jason? This is Rock Love from Chicago. I'm driving. Let me pull over real quick. If you can hear me good, I'm just going to say wonderful. I'm so glad you're doing this broadcast. This is very personal to me. I'm a survivor of women putting false charges of a sexual nature. I'm a survivor of that. You said something very significant. You said something that I've been echoing in any chamber, any X space that I could get involved in, is that state or federal, if this can set a precedent for someone as large as Sean Combs, then the rest of us are cooked. Even the $100,000 person is cooked. So what I wanted to ask you, Jason, is it's a couple of things. The first thing I wanted to ask you about that first point of women falsely accusing people and prosecutors and judges going along with it, and then whether a person gets a nollie pros, which means is legal jargon for refuse to prosecute, or are not guilty. Where is the recourse for the women that are falsely charged these men?
Well, look, right now, there hasn't been a movement to do that. That's the issue. The so-called feminist movement morphed and kept morphing until you get to a victimize. It's legal to just victimize men and prosecute them for any reason. So you're being a man is the crime. You have a government that's gone along with it because men are the warrior class of society. So the government's not scared of the women. The women will get in the street and be loud, but women don't overturn governments. Women don't overthrow governments. Men do. So, yeah, you got a lot of men distracted with their cell phones, but unfortunately, a lot of the cell phones are telling them about masculinity. So that's become a problem. So if you're going to have a male class, they have to be easily dominated, easily controlled, which means they have to be easily persecuted by anyone and everyone for any reason. As a group, the previous generations, the baby boomers, the civil rights generation, they were not concerned about this. Remember, in their day, getting sex was harder. So feeding into slut culture was a goal of the baby boomer generation, the civil rights generation. That was a goal of theirs, to get easier sexual access, slut it up, everything else. So as the females became sluttier and easier, that was all the males of that generation were focused on. As long as they could get that, they were cool. Remember, back then, it wasn't a felony to have a bunch of bastard kids, and a lot of them fellas did. So the environment and the dynamics were different for them. They fed a beast that has now metastasized into an outright cancer, and nothing was done to stop it. So we're the first generation that's actually said, wait a minute, complaining isn't the way to go. What do we do to stop it? The first thing we do is have a conversation. Because the first thing they try to do is tell you, you shouldn't even think these thoughts. You shouldn't even think them. You should just go with the program. You're a bad man if you count 2 + 2 = 4. Believe all women, even if they're lying. Right. But remember, these are the same folk who told you that men can be women and women can be men. So it is of particular interest to them to warp and destroy and dominate the masculine male mind, to keep you focused on anything and everything except galvanizing together as a group and saying, you know what, we need some legislation. Yeah, there's a lot of laws out there to cut taxes and stuff like that. Yeah, we get that. But we really need to criminalize some of this behavior that's going on, this targeting men.
Okay, Jason, can I chime in real quick about that?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, that's a great point. And so listen, and here's the thing about this is why this is personal to me. I am stomping the ground, and I'm going to do something about it. I could use your help. I'm going to join your Patreon, but what you're just saying about that is so when it comes to these legislations. Now, when I was falsely accused and I was in the Cook County Jail, and if you know anything about the Cook County Jail, brothers cop out because it's so horrible. I spent 2 months there. And so the brothers in there, all we can do is work out and watch TV. And everybody wants to watch the news. Now, while my case was ongoing, R. Kelly was also being prosecuted. And at that same time, I'm here in Chicago, Jason. Our Governor Pritzker, was presenting legislation to be passed, which it was passed, that a person can not consent to sex if they are under the influence of alcohol or other drugs. He passed that. It essentially saying that you meet a woman in a bar, which most people meet in bars. A great majority of people meet in bars and they go do whatever it is. Maybe some will become partners or even married. But he's saying that a woman you can have a couple of Long Islands with that woman, go home, have intimate relations with her, and she can wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I regret it. She can go to a prosecutor, state, federal, whatever, and say, I was under the influence and I regret it now. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, that's always been a problem because, first of all, how can you have DUI laws if you're going to say that a person is not responsible for their actions if they're drunk? If you're going to say that they're not responsible for that they cannot consent to sex, so they will not be held responsible because they can't consent to sex, then how do you suddenly hold them responsible for drinking and driving? You're automatically contradicting yourself. As men, we have to insist that both governments and courts don't sit up here and get to contradict themselves, because we know what the real deal is. Governor Pritzker is an obese, disgusting mudball, and nobody's trying to have sex with him who isn't, get on the payroll. So he doesn't have a problem doing that because he's completely undesirable. So, and that's what you find out. Your government's run by a bunch of perverts and deviants, and Pritzker is part of the Hyatt, corporation that owns those hotels, which is amazing because no female ever asked him to go to one. And so he doesn't have a problem doing that kind of garbage. And Illinois, unfortunately, is notoriously corrupt. But it's far from the only one. So the real thing is, that's always been a problem with them trying to make laws like that because, well, if you're going to say that, then you have to let off the DUI people. If you're going to do that, the only way you can have both of those laws coexist is if you allow a contradiction. And therein lies the problem. So you can't say that I'm not responsible for my actions if I consent to sex and I'm drunk, but suddenly I'm responsible for my actions if I consent to driving and I'm drunk. So therein lies the issue. But it's going to take a lot of work. The media is completely against us because the media wants to make it easy to victimize people because most of them are perverts and deviants to begin with, and they're part of the government apparatus. We don't have a legal entity because you really need to have lawyers for this. So as men, Jewish people have legal organizations, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, free speech people, the NRA. So you got these special interest groups, and you would think that as men we wouldn't require that. But there's something that we didn't realize and understand. We made a flawed, fatal assumption as men. We told ourselves that politics, because it's competitive, would be dominated by alpha males. And in reality, it's been exactly the opposite. Beta males 100%. Are the politicians. Beta males are the police officers. Beta males are the politicians. Beta males are the judges. So your judiciary and your political branches are not dominated by actual masculine men. Those are the repositories of the betas, and they hate other men. Governor Pritzker doesn't like other men. He's not respected among other men. He's mocked. You can all see him. He was the fat kid in high school who wouldn't be asked to play on the basketball team or for pickup ball. You can look at him and see that. Matt Gaetz, Barack Obama. So a bunch of sissified misfits. That's who dominates your politics, your police and organizations, because men like us don't go into politics. We go throw elbows in the corporate world. We throw elbows in entrepreneurship. We throw elbows making things in construction. So that's where we gravitate to. And what happened was we left the political realm and law enforcement and the courts open to the beta hoe males. And they're doing exactly what you would think they would do. So it's not so much that sissification is overrepresented. It's that the actual masculine men don't really gravitate to politics and law and stuff like that. Not as a rule. We don't naturally gravitate to it, so we surrendered it to the betas.
Okay, let me respond to what you just said, and thank you for that breakdown. And you're going exactly where I want to go with this, because you also said, which really got my attention, is that going back to this point where if a precedent is set that a billionaire, okay, can just slide through the cracks, pause. Okay, if that can happen, then the average person like me, I'm an up and coming entrepreneur. I'm a musician. I'm a self-taught vegan chef. I got a lot of things going on. When I had this false case put against me, I had nothing. I had to get a public defender, and this is what I wanted to ask you as well, because I was in a space with Judge Joe Brown. And Judge Joe Brown was talking about this case, and Judge Joe Brown said something that I know from personal experience. I had a public defender, and that public defender had a great private investigator, and this is how we were able to find out that this person accusing me has done this consecutive for the previous 7 years, one after the other, and take over the crib and all that. She should be put under the jail. Now, Judge Joe Brown, somebody asked him in the space, what about the person that can't afford a high profile lawyer? And he said, you're probably better off with a public defender, because a public defender is on a retainer, they get a salary, and they get so many cases that they have so much experience, rather than a high profile attorney.
Okay, well, basically my response to that would be, yeah, no. What you want to have is you need to have a competent attorney who has experience with it. If you get a public defender who just so happens to be on the docket for that and has experience with it, that's cool, but that's not the rule. So all I can say is take a look at A$AP Rocky, Bill Cosby, Diddy, Young Thug. There's a reason why you see that and Diddy's done this twice now. If public defenders were the lick, then Diddy wouldn't have had two others to his name. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. We appreciate that. Let me go ahead and see if we can get Onan up here on Zoom. Let me get Onan up here. Yeah, I've never seen a public defender be the preferred mode of travel. So, and there's a reason for that. All right, Onan, we got you up here on the Zoom. What's on your mind, brother?
What's going on, Big Jason? How we doing? Yeah, the situation with Diddy is interesting, man. I think that he is going to be much larger once everything boils over. It kind of reminds me of the Source Awards back in the 90s, when Suge Knight got on stage and was calling Diddy out. He kind of threw a sub at it. He was like, yo, if you want to come to a different label where you don't want nobody dancing on your video or, singing all over the record, then come to Death Row. You know what I mean? And that really put Bad Boy's name up in the air along with Death Row at the time. But I think now, with this case going over and the fact that he beat the RICO charge, that's the bigger flex to me. You know what I'm saying? But overall, yeah, I think Diddy's going to come out much larger than where he's at right now.
If he leans into it. If Diddy goes recessive and goes into hiding and is reclusive and is all sorry and recessive, then yeah, he's done. He's done. Yeah. If he shows them that, no, I'm not going to be famous, I'm going to be infamous. If he does that and leans into it and adopts the persona, if he does that, because people love you when you're comfortable who you are. I mean, this is all that other stuff is a matter of opinion. People are gonna. We have presidents who blow up damn nations. What the hell are y'all talking about? We got women who kill their children in this country. What the hell are you talking about? You want to talk about that? We got Keke Palmer and Dammy, what's her face? Safari's girl, Erica Mena, on damn video. Hoes be fighting each other all up and down TikTok. They got a whole show for it. Baddies. Before that, Jerry Springer. So as men, you sit up here and let them sit up here and cow you under and talk you into nonsense. It's like, are you kidding me? You see what's going on over here? So my whole thing is, if Diddy leans into it and doesn't back down from it, folk are going to rally around him. That's just what it's going to be. If he acts like he's ashamed or whatever, then everybody else is going to reflect that energy. If he acts like it ain't no thing, yep, I'm right here, I'm 10 toes down, I'm standing on it, what you going to do? Folk are going to rally around that. And white men do this all the damn time. Dana White was smacking up his wife on Damn Me video. We can go down I've shown y'all the San Francisco Giants CEO, Dana White. Okay, if they get to sit there and stay where they at and everything's fine, don't say a damn word to Diddy. Don't say a damn word. We done with that.
Yeah, not only that, you had Ben Roethlisberger choking out women in the bathroom and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got a bunch of these other celebrities out here doing crazy stuff, you know. But the way I look at it, man, I'm going to land my plane here. But the way I look at it is, Diddy wasn't doing anything that Hugh Hefner, rest in peace, Hugh Hefner wasn't doing. You know what I'm saying? That any of these, rich, famous white men out here doing what they want to do, but they want to jump on Diddy's case, which I think is whack. You know what I'm saying? Although, the tape with him beating on Cassie, I thought that was crazy. So yeah, I think he needed some get back, but other than that, yeah. Diddy holds, he still holds a lot of weight in Harlem. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, if you go on 125th, man, you be seeing brothers, with the table set out on the sidewalk, they have like no Diddy oil or whatnot, making fun of Diddy with the whole baby oil thing. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a whole light thing, but, yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting comeback for Diddy, man. But I'm gonna land my plane right there. So
thank you very much for giving us a call. Like, it's only going to be detrimental to Diddy if he allows it. If Diddy come back and stand on it and doesn't back down, doesn't let the media sit up here and shame him or anything like that. If Diddy stand on it, he'll be the biggest thing ever. It'll be bigger than ever. Can you imagine the drill rappers? Can you imagine all these other folk wanting to get next to him? Pause. Can you imagine that? Because that's what it'll be. That's what it'll be. Let me go ahead and see if we can get back over here on Zoom. Let me get to Ashley up here on Zoom. All right, Ashley, what's on your mind?
Don't say my name. Hey, Jason, how you doing?
All right, what's on your mind?
This is River Ashes in the chat.
All right.
You go in on girls like me a lot, bro. And I'm happy that you're doing this chat. And I'm happy that you're airing a lot out. You do realize I need a chat. I shouldn't be saying chat.
Well, when you say girls like you, what do you mean?
Opportunist.
Really?
Pay for play.
Tell me more.
Can you feel me?
When you say tell me more, I have a lot to say. I mean,
OnlyFans?
No, I don't have no OnlyFans. I had worse than OnlyFans.
Worse than OnlyFans. Okay.
Way worse than OnlyFans.
Only Simps.
Only what?
Only Scrubs? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what's worse than OnlyFans.
The big boys. Bad boy, like only the big ones. So I am from Chicago.
Oh, say no more. All right, that says everything.
Yeah, and when I say I'm from Chicago, like I'm from Chicago, like hold on, let me gather myself because I can't believe I'm talking to you. I love your voice.
She's trying to figure out how much. She's trying to figure out how much dry snitching she want to do.
Huh?
You're trying to figure out just how much dry snitching you want to do. So I understand. Just take it easy. She's trying to figure out how much self-snitching she want to do.
Yeah, I do. I actually do want to dry snitch.
Girl, let it all out. Don't hold them back. Just let it all out. Get it off your chest once and for all.
All right. So, you talk about bed wenches, right?
Oh, hell.
Talking to me.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
How many?
Not too many.
Not too many. How many is not too many? I want to hear the girl. I want to hear the girl math on this one. How many is not too many? What's the girl? Go ahead, give us the girl math.
Jason.
Oh goodness, y'all know what that means.
Dry snitch, bro. Leave me alone. I'm calling you. It's bigger than that.
Bro. How young?
How young?
Yeah, if you're not gonna tell me how many, you can at least tell me how young you were.
How were?
Yeah, you can tell me how young you were when you started with them.
I am going to talk about what I am.
Oh, y'all.
I am 40 years old. Calling you. You done triggered me, bro. And when I say you done triggered me, bro, it ain't just you, bro. The New York prosecutors triggered me. Let me tell you something. You said I was calling a dry snitch. You clocked that, right? You clocked that. My sugar daddy was a CFO of Boeing Defense. Big old fat ass white man. Go Google him. His head looked like a rock. I had to deal with that shit a lot.
How did you have to deal with it? Come on now, you're speaking in metaphors. We don't know what you mean.
I had to deal with this motherfucker flying me across the world, nigga.
The world, not across town, across the world.
No, for sure not across town. For sure not across town.
Where's the furthest he took you?
Germany. I think that's the furthest he took me. He took me to Amsterdam. Some girls was trying to come back with us from Amsterdam.
Oh, they was trying to fuck me. From Lizzoville. Okay.
Yeah. This shit is real. So this trial triggered me, and you trigger me a lot too, man. When I tell you, like, that bad witch stuff is dead, man. I'm calling in. I'm saying what I'm saying because I'm putting a PSA out there. Let me tell you something. This man held me into some kind of hostage. I gotta pass a security clearance. He didn't say it like that.
How many of y'all were there?
It was just me.
Just you by yourself?
Yeah, me, myself, and I. Yeah, it was just me.
He didn't like other black women?
Until I got tired of him, and then I started looking up other girls to get into the situation.
I don't think you were the only one, though. So I would figure he would have had to want other black women, too.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. They never have just one. They never have just one.
He had got me to a space. So I'm going to be very clear about myself. I have a finance degree. I done heard you going on finance degrees, talk about finance degrees. Yeah.
You went to go get a finance degree, and then she ends up, being the jump off to, Gilbert Grape. What went wrong?
The money wasn't big enough. I majored in finance. I wanted money.
All right, tell the truth, baby. Where are you people from?
Okay.
Come on.
My dad. Okay. My mother's side of the family tried to make themselves white. I'm talking about tried to make themselves white to where they got the.
Which part of the Caribbean they from?
They don't know.
Oh boy.
They are. I am a descendant of slaves.
On one side.
No, on both. From listening to you, I made my dad and my mom go get tested.
There you go.
I know that these tests are questionable, but my dad came back 99% black. I don't know how he ended up marrying a white woman.
Work.
Work?
Hard work.
Yeah, and my dad, Jason, I don't want to go in on my dad.
Well, I don't want to say too much here, but for everybody, I think I can say this part here. She's got gold colored hair. So she is still struggling. She is still struggling, y'all. So her hair it starts out brown, but then it goes gold. So she is still struggling with this thing here. So she's working on it. She's a work in progress. She's a work in progress.
Tell him I'm trying. It's grown out though.
Okay, and that's all your actual hair now, isn't it? It's not the stuff in the bag. So
yeah, this is my real hair.
You grew your hair past shoulder length just to color it blonde.
My hair was down my back.
Clearly, I'm sure the white men love pulling on it. In any case, like I say, was he the only one?
No, I don't let him pull my hair.
No more.
No more.
You don't let him do it no more. Okay, thank you. Thank you. You don't let him do it anymore.
Yeah, I started listening to you. Yeah, stop.
Yeah, that's right. But the bowling ball was yanking and pulling like a you were his trusty
No,
Steve.
he wasn't.
Really? Come on now. Just tell the whole damn truth.
He was too fat.
Okay, how many freak offs did y'all have?
What?
Girl, lay it on out. You already let us know that you were the plug to get other females. So you already said that. So I don't know what you holding back now.
I started recruiting that because I got tired of him.
Okay, it doesn't matter why you did it. The point is you knew how to do it. So clearly you wasn't no amateur. You knew what the hell you were doing. You were the plug to get other females in the room, and that's one of the reasons he had you there. So are you going to tell me that you were never in the room with another chick? Are you really going to expect us to believe that?
No, I'm not going to say that because that's a lie.
Thank you. Okay. We ain't hating on you. Just be honest about it. That's cool. We love you.
I did.
There you go.
Okay, when you dealing with men of that nature that got that much bag, that much money, and they some freaks, how you going to call somebody else? For sure.
Okay.
So that's how come, not to make this about back to the Diddy trial, because I already know we gonna pivot. This gonna be a lesson, and I want to be a lesson. But I want to say that during this Diddy trial, all of this shit, I'm up here listening to Cassie and Jane Doe and all the rest of that shit. Okay, first of all, he was paying me way more than Jane Doe. Let me just be very clear.
Oh, really?
Yes.
How much?
$4,000 every time he see me. And if I invited a guest, the guest would get $3,000.
Well, he paid the help almost as much as you. You need to move on your prices.
That's what I negotiated.
Oh.
That's not what they got.
Oh, okay. Oh, you was double dipping?
What you mean double dipping?
When you didn't give them their $3,000, you gave them part of it?
Sometimes.
Okay. Y'all, she's in business, y'all, not charity, so. I ain't mad at you.
No, I'm calling up a girl charity. So anyway, he wasn't no.
That's a nice big place you in too.
I was about to say he wasn't no freak, but he obviously is a freak, bro.
That's a nice big place you in too, by the way. It looks very nice. It's very large. So I see crime pays, but go ahead.
Damn,
hey girl, play the game. Don't let the game play you. I'm not mad at you. Play the game. Don't let the game play you. Very clearly it worked out. She got her teeth did and everything. Very clearly it worked out.
Natural,
oh,
nigga.
Stop it.
No, my teeth is me. Watch.
Okay.
Hold on, let me get in the light.
Man, without an X-ray.
What did he tell them hoes to do? What did he tell them hoes to do? Stay in the light. Look at me, shit.
Okay, I'm gonna need to get an X-ray on that. I got to get an X-ray on that because
this is my real teeth. I got cavities. Look.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
Girl.
Nah,
y'all. She is giving me the guided. She's giving me the guided tour of them cheeks, of that jawbone. So I'm kind of liking the view, to be totally honest. I might have to let y'all go. Yeah, she's giving me a guided tour of that tongue. Oh, is that a piercing in your tongue? How many you got? Is that one piercing or two?
I got this piercing in my tongue in college.
How many piercings you got in your tongue?
I did it twice.
Like that's what I'm saying. I think I see two piercings. I know what the hell I saw that tongue they got. Yeah,
that's a shame.
She doing the whole Cardi B thing over here. I might have to let y'all go early. I might have to let y'all go early. It's a holiday. I might have to let you two go early.
In on me and sit me down and get me together. But I already realized you.
Baby, okay, let me just be real about something here for a minute. I mean, I mean what I say. I'm not one of these people who says something that doesn't actually mean it. I'm not here to rake you all over the coals about things. I'm not here to shame you about stuff in that regard. I'm not here to, I know that kind of stuff goes viral. I ain't interested in that. If you're straight up and honest about it, that's good. I'm not here to tell you how to feel about things. I just try to talk to folks and say, hey, be objective about it. I know that other people are listening. If you got something you want to teach, that's cool. If you're not okay with what you did, that's all right. If you are, that's okay too. Because my whole thing is, as long as children are not being harmed by it, it's that part's relative to me. If grown folk want to live their life like that, you pay your money and take your chances. Will you regret it later? Maybe you will. As long as you made your decisions with your eyes wide open. That's the important thing for me. So I don't have a problem with that. So whatever. So for all y'all hotels and everything, I'm not going to rake you over the coals about it necessarily. Just be straight up about it. That's the only thing I ask. So we can have a real conversation. But it's not going to be for me to dunk on you. I'm not interested in doing that.
Okay. So, as far as that hotel stuff, I hate hotels.
Really?
I absolutely hate hotels.
I imagine you would now.
What you say?
I imagine you would now.
Yeah, I hate hotels. So when I do my shit, I don't do my shit in hotels. So this is like I'm listening to this Diddy trial. Let's get back to the Diddy trial because I actually am very upset that they tried to go in on that man like that.
Well, I want to ask you about Cassie because you have some similarities to Cassie. And I want to ask you about that. Now, a lot of folks are like, oh, she was intimidated. She was scared, this, that, and the other. I want to know what you think about Cassie. She hung in there for like a decade. She freaked out, freaked in, freaked out. And everybody, you saw the video and everything else. What do you think about Cassie's part in this? What do you think of that?
I think Cassie is doing what girls like us do. She want the bag. And she couldn't sleep at night because she couldn't get the bag, and she did what she had to do to get the bag. This Cassie got bag. When I say Cassie got bag, Cassie got $20 million from Diddy. Then she got $10 million from the insurance.
Right, but I'm talking about beforehand. I'm talking about before all this. I'm talking about the decade that she was there and collaborating all this. I'm talking about that part.
Patsy was doing what she was doing. She was enjoying her life. Like, she was getting purchased whatever she wanted, gifted whatever she wanted, lived in whatever crib or house she wanted. She was doing what girls like us do. Cassie, I don't think that she loved him.
I disagree with that.
Liked him. Huh?
I disagree with that. I think she did.
Well, I don't see how you love him. Okay. Jason, when I say that Cassie is doing what girls like us do, when I'm talking about, I don't care if I'm talking about Diddy, I don't care if I'm talking about Trump, Elon. When you do what girls like us do, that man a trick. He's the bag. He's the trick. I don't think that she loved him because ain't no way you went up on the stand and said the things that you said about that man.
No, I think that Cassie, I think that Cassie he was the highlight of her life. She thought that she was going to be the bottom broad was what she thought was going to happen. She thought that 20 years from now, her and him would still be doing what they're doing. And she didn't understand, that's not the way that works. So she was cool with it.
And it's a lot more too. She was a drug addict and he wanted her to get
well, I mean, the thing is she was doing drugs before she ever met him. So once again, the prosecutor, real scumbag, trying to make it, that's why I pointed this out when the original.
I work for the government, by the way.
Oh Lord. All right. Thank you for the disclaimer. Okay, thanks for the disclaimer. But I mean, I said from the beginning, you know, that's what she was doing. She was in the life. So she was doing that stuff when she was with Brian Leslie. So the getting flued out and the drugs and everything else that goes with being in that business, she was already doing that. So Diddy didn't select her because she didn't know what to do. He selected her because she already knew what to do. And he knew he could pull her from Ryan Leslie, and he did. And
Correct.
folk have been trying to pretend ever since that she was some naive little girl. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what you all are looking at in those pictures, but naive and ignorant she was not.
She looked just like my niece. When I look at Cassie, because, you know, my brother loved white women and he procreated with white women and left me with a bunch of nieces that look like Cassie, built like Cassie, act like Cassie. And I take accountability in that because I am their auntie, chat. But as far as Cassie, I already know what Cassie on. Well, Cass, I don't.
No, I mean being able to recruit other women. That's a thing right there, is that y'all have to, that's part of y'all's resume. Being able to grab other chicks for it, and they're down from day one.
Yeah, that's true.
Bag chasing is the culture today, man.
Yeah, I mean, at the end, okay, so can I be 100% honest? Like, you know, so I'm listening to this and I'm just like, wow, you know, if Diddy get charged with this shit, I might be on the stand. You know what I'm saying? Like, next thing you know, I'm getting charged like I'm a madam or something, right?
You could be. I mean, if you don't have anybody it's like the drug game. If you don't have anybody you can flip on, then yeah, you'll be the one who goes down. Because Cassie would have been indicted. They wanted Diddy. Cassie was only let off because she cooperated and witnessed. But if she couldn't do that, yeah, there's a real scenario where she could have been the one going to jail too. Yeah.
Right.
And they don't tell y'all that. How many other CEOs and executives did you have? Just get the number. That number must be pretty damn impressive if you sitting here shaking your head every time I say it.
Jason, I'm going to just say this. I don't have no Instagram. I don't have no Facebook page. I got this little YouTube page. Maybe after this, I might deactivate it.
She is a cute mocha colored thing up here, but she got a scandalous rap sheet, y'all. Scandalous. She don't even want to give numbers. Baby, well, she went for the Dubai trip and everything.
No, I did not do the Dubai trip.
Okay, you did it in Dusseldorf. She did it in Dusseldorf. All right.
Lazy. I let my personality shine through, my gift of gab and stuff.
How did you meet them?
Had a website.
A website.
Yeah, and I will get on the ad pages.
Were these any websites that were shut down by authorities?
No, I was too bougie for those, but those
really?
Type of sites, yes. But I was too bougie to be on those.
Okay, if you were still in the business today, where would you be at? What site would you be on?
If I was still in the business today, what would I have? I would have a Twitter. If I was still in the business, do you really want me to stay?
Yes, ma'am. Well, I want to know what the deal is. So where would you all be if you were? Where would you go to find new fellas today if you were still working?
It's a page called Slixa, SLIXA. It's a page called Tryst, TRYST. And I probably would do Arrows.
All right, Arrows. That was one of the usual suspects.
Yeah.
Did they pay? How many gifts did they pay for you?
Yes, what you mean?
Gifts, ma'am. A gift. GIFT. Gifts. What's the most expensive gift he ever bought you?
I don't even remember. Chanel bag.
All right.
I got whatever I wanted.
All you wanted was a Chanel bag? All right.
Exactly, bro.
Okay. What'd she say?
Someone did offer. He offered to buy me a crib downtown Chicago, right off of Michigan and Chicago Avenue, so I could be real close to him.
Oh boy.
Turn it down. I turn it down. Another one offered to buy me a house.
There you go. I want to know about the other one.
I ain't like him.
You don't like any of these fellas.
I don't.
But that didn't prevent her from throwing them legs open, y'all. So it's like ain't got nothing to do with it, much less love. So then she'll tell the black men, you got to have a personality and you got to love Jesus. And she'll come and tell us that. So she'll come to us and tell us we got to love Jesus and have a job and, have to be committed and can't be materialistic. So that's what she'll tell us.
I will never say those things. Like, I actually leave black men alone because I feel like I don't deserve a black man. Jason.
Well, I mean, I think you need somebody who has your experience. So I think, and there's a number of fellas who do. So, like I say, I'm not going to penalize anybody for where they've been, but just like anybody else, there's consequences for it. So maybe the most pro-black person who might most value you might find that baggage to be something to deal with. Then again, you got other folk who've had the same, journey that you've been on, and maybe they've had some of the same epiphany that you've had, and so, the both of y'all can, deal with y'all Becky and Brad's together, and just because y'all both had a similar awakening. So that would be balanced, is somebody who understands what you've been through so they're not conflicted about it. Because y'all, she has a very nice Egyptian shirt on. Very, very nice. So she's doing the most over there right now. So
real, by the way.
Girl, don't grab them like that.
They are. He's mine.
Oh, okay. She's trying to put in a side chick application. It's what she say. It's Friday. She is trying to submit her side chick application on the sneak. I saw you. I saw it. Okay, well, and she's smiling, so I'm like, okay, we all adults here, so side chick application confirmed. So I'll keep that in mind. What she say? She want to show me it's a real size 6, not a fake one. So
yeah, my nails trash right now, but I'm not. I don't want to have I'm in a space right now. I don't want to have my nails done.
Oh, she's hit me up. She's hit me up to get the nails done. We ain't even met. No. Oh, you moving too quick. We haven't even met. She already talking about I gotta get my nails done. Oh, wait a minute. You confused me with the Boeing bowling ball.
Yeah, bro. You so funny.
She started right there. But wait a minute. Time to get my nails done. So, you jumped at it too quick, baby. You jumped at it too quick.
All right, but look. Thank you for taking my call. I'm not trying to. If you want to continue to try, we can continue to try. But I did want to draw a snitch. So thank you for clocking that. I said what I said.
Well, definitely, like I say, there are some details I would like to have, because if you don't want to say about it publicly, that's fine. But that's why I keep coming back to those numbers things. So if you want to send me an email at handlethebusiness@yahoo.com, you can do that, because I would like to get some more. I can obviously tell there's stuff you might not want to say publicly. I get it. It's not lost on me. So
yeah, I kind of don't care, because
obviously you do. So obviously you do care about it. And I'm just saying there's some, I would like to have some numbers. I want to know how many. I want to know how young you were when you started. And if you don't want to talk about it publicly,
was in my 20s.
20s is not a number.
26.
You started kind of late.
Yeah, I was. Do you know what these corporations put me through, bro? Being in finance. The only black girl in finance.
Okay, but you don't go from finance ain't working out. Screw it, I'm gonna start tricking. That's not the evolutionary step, ma'am.
I didn't say it was evolutionary.
That's not the next logical step. It doesn't just start there. So.
Okay, so yeah, you're right.
It goes to, I don't like this company, I'm going to a different company. Not, I don't like this company, I'm hitting the track. That's not the way that goes.
But no, I do feel you. You're correct.
Do you have any children? Do you have any children?
No, I don't.
Have you ever been pregnant?
Jason.
Okay, yeah. There you go. All right.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So, like I say, what she say? Now I gotta get my teeth done. Okay, and she doesn't want to say how many.
My teeth done, Jason. Okay. These is my real teeth.
All right, and she doesn't want to say how many CEO types. She don't want to say how many.
The reason I can't tell you how many CEOs it is because I lost track.
Lost
Go ahead, hit the damn.
Lost track as in a couple, or lost track as in dozens?
Jason, I was passed around Chicago. There is no building in Chicago that's tall enough to impress me. There's nothing. There's no crib in Chicago.
The Sheraton, the Hyatt.
Oh yeah,
The
I'm not impressed.
Trump International.
Trump International is trash.
They know you by name?
No.
Okay. Oh, you didn't get around that much then.
That was, if they knew me by name, that mean I was paying for it. Why would they know my name?
Well,
I had an alias.
Oh, they couldn't pick you out in the lineup?
What you mean?
I meant just that. They couldn't pick you out in the lineup then?
The hotels? Who picked me out in
I'm just
lineup?
checking. You said you were a frequent flyer. I'm just trying to figure out how frequent.
So here's how I did my thing, right? I was determined that I was not going to like have my body passed around to any nookie nanny, anybody who had the bag. I was selective. Because I came from that environment, I knew how to identify who had the bag and who didn't. And when I picked them, they kept me. I mean, they kept
you
me.
for how long?
On average, I would say like I would get like before I spazzed on them, because I do spaz. Before I spazzed on them, I'd say maybe like a year. They start getting on my nerves.
How many of them did you deal with at one time? What was the most number of men you dealt with at the same time?
It depends. I would say 2 to 4.
Okay, so you say at your height you had 4 men maybe you were talking to at the exact same time.
Yeah. Executives. Yeah. They start getting on my nerves though. But
were they married?
Usually they was married. The biggest one that was flying me around the country with them was not. I mean, not around the country, the world.
Were you taking any medications?
No.
No antidepressants, anything like that?
No, after I stopped, I started.
Okay, so you were prescribed for that later, though. So you may have been. What I'm saying is that you may have had untreated issues while you were doing it.
Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, for sure. Untreated issues.
You have nice large eyes.
Thank you.
Very prominent eyes.
Thank you. I get this from my daddy's side.
Understood.
The 99% Negro side.
I'll keep that in mind. Well, he makes cute daughters. At least the bowling ball from Boeing thinks so.
Thank you.
So she's got that on the sheet there. Well, I want to thank you for giving us a call tonight here. You know, I'm sure you're very happy. You've wanted to warn them about Cassie and them. There's something to learn. So y'all, these city girls are out here. Keep your eyes.
We still outside. Let me tell you something. But that's the thing, though. Like, this Diddy winning this ain't doing nothing but fueling the fire. What you say, handle the business at Yahoo?
Yes.
All right. I remember that. I don't need to write it down. Okay. So, look. Diddy is going to be larger than life if he come back outside and don't put himself and don't go and hide. And girls like me is going to love it. We're going to feel motivated. Me personally, as Jason already dug into with there were issues that I did not deal with. Oh, and when I tell you there's issues I didn't deal with, I mean it like there's issues I didn't deal with during it. Like I've when I say I stopped doing that. Okay, moved away from Chicago too, and I recently had talks with my father about it. Like, but I knew what to say to my dad and his white ass wife.
Animosity.
For me, or
clearly, I don't understand that. How do you have animosity to the white wife and all these white men got to grip them butt cheeks? I don't understand. This seems to be a contradiction.
Because it just kind of seemed like that they didn't embrace me.
Oh, there you go.
Unless I brought a rich white guy around and shit on her ass.
Okay, competition.
Actually, now that you say that, maybe, yeah, that's what was going on.
All right,
but I mean, like, if I had to be competitive with anybody, maybe I could be competitive with somebody else, right? Like, why did my competitive energy go toward my stepmother?
Not sure. Now, is your biological mother white or your stepmother?
No, my biological mother is Black, but her dad was trying to, that bloodline was trying to breed themselves white.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Which part of the Caribbean they from? Because that's like a Dominican thing in bettering the race and all that. So that's usually like Caribbean, Dominican, not so much African, but that's usually Caribbean. So your folks, are they like from New York?
They was literally like during the slave days, house niggas breeding white.
Oh boy. Deep off in the paint. Well, I think it's an interesting story there, but email me. We'll see if we can talk about that. That's interesting. We could go on for hours about that, but yeah, a lot to figure out there. Let me see if I can get back over here on Zoom. Hey, this nigga double dipping tonight. We got brother Elijah up here on Zoom. Well, he's on my other channel now, so might have to see about that. Elijah, I suspect she was off seeing your people about getting her teeth done, so I suspect she was. She's denying it, but y'all all out there getting it done. What's on your mind, brother?
Hey, big brother, what's going on? I $1 sign to you. Brother, let me get this straight before I go into anything, and I'm gonna watch my revolutionary talk because we're on a different channel. I'm very happy that P. Diddy got acquitted of this serious charges because I'm sick and tired of this hypocritical American system railroading our Black successes, particularly our FBA Black successes, trying to steal wealth from them and just lock them up and take everything from them and everything like that. So I'm happy about that. But I've been hearing a lot of stuff, and the one question I did have, and nobody asked this yet, when the changing of guards came, that guy Damian Williams, I don't know his last name. He resigned when Trump won the White House again, and I'm asking this white nasty bitch Pam Bondi, why didn't she drop the damn case?
Because that's not the way that works. I mean, the Justice Department is the Justice Department, people. That's not the way it works. So if the Justice Department has begun an action, you have to understand, for their legitimacy's sake, they don't just, a new administration comes in and then hit the reset button. That's not the way that works. So if it's already been approved, they carry those things through. For example, the antitrust actions against Facebook and Google. A new administration picked it up and kept going with them. So the only way you'd get that done away is if you could get the president himself to step in, and that's not the way that works. So when these things go, that's the way the game is played. When they go from one administration to another, unless there was something just illegitimate, but like I say, unless you're going to get the president who just runs on that as part of his campaign, no, that's not the way it works. So the attorney can step down, but the case will remain. It's on the docket. It's in front of a judge. No, the Justice Department don't back down from nothing, right or wrong. Right or wrong. New administration or not.
All right. Well,
the Justice Department is the only constant, and they see themselves that way. They're a constant, no matter who's in the White House.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for the education, because I was like, I'm looking at this woman, Pam Bondi. I'm like, you couldn't drop this case. This was bogus.
I mean, but remember, she was the one threatening O.J. Simpson when he moved to Florida. And if he does anything here, so I mean, she's always been can you be a blonde bed wench? What? You know, just if you can be a blonde bed wench, that's Pam Bondi. She's not the smartest person. She's just a useful flunky with a law degree. But no, I mean, the Justice Department, that's the whole thing about it. So when they drop a case on you, the only way that's going to go away is if the president runs on that as part of his platform. If that's not it, no, they're going to see their case through. And and you wouldn't want that anyway. I mean, if it would be hard. Remember, judges don't have to dismiss cases because the president shows up. Once a case is filed against you, a judge can say, yeah, we're not going to let you drop them charges. I mean, a judge can say that. A judge can say, yeah, y'all got to see this through. Okay, we'll appoint another prosecutor. A judge can do that. So if the judge does not want to let the case go, yeah, it's going. So that's why even if a president stepped in, yeah, because that would be tampering with the judiciary. You see what I mean? A president just can't step in and say, okay, trial's over. That's not the way that they will be very adverse to allowing something like that to occur.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that sounds familiar because that whole, not switching the conversation, but we did see that in real time, even with Mr. Eric Adams. So yeah, that makes sense. Okay, all right. Now I have a question. What are the lessons to be learned from this whole Diddy thing? Because even if this big brother he comes back out and everything, this man is because of this case, don't you think his image is completely tarnished only because of the LGBT and all that other stuff?
Here's the thing. It would be different if this trial blew the doors wide open on it. It'd be different if that's how we found out. It'd be different. Everybody was like, damn, I thought Diddy was, it's like, it would be different if it was Denzel Washington. You know, if it was Denzel Washington, we found out, I'll be damn, baby, all Denzel, say it ain't so. It would be different if that were the case, but it's not. So the only thing Diddy was trying to prevent was folk having hard evidence, but it's not anything we don't already know. Well, Jason, why wouldn't this be devastating for him the way that it would be for like Frank Ocean or Lil Nas X? Because Diddy has never presented that way. Frank Ocean and Lil Nas X were like, hello, we're your gay rappers. That was never what Diddy did.
Right.
So regardless of anything else, it'd be different if that was how he was presenting and if that was forward facing. That would be different. But it's like a politician. That's never something he actually ran on. So that's the difference for him in that regard. So as far as dealing with the public, that was just never what he pushed. That was never something that he really just pushed with. If it were, then I think that would stick to him a lot more.
Okay.
But the real thing is, but more than that, brother, let's just be honest. Nobody dealt with Diddy because they thought he was great people. You talk to Diddy because Diddy's the plug.
Right, of course.
You know, Bad Boy Records or whatever. You didn't talk to Diddy because you like Diddy. You talked to Diddy because it was business. You talked to Diddy because he could hook you up with this person over here or get this over here for you. You get deals done. So that much, you know, everybody can agree on this. What you didn't get with Diddy because you wanted to be his girlfriend. Even the chicks who did, they were only doing that because there was something to be gained. So people's interactions with Sean Combs have always been transactional. That's what it's always been. And that hasn't changed. It was never that he was this icon that people admired and we want to be like him. Yeah, you wanted to be like Mike. You wanted to be like Denzel. Nobody wanted to be like Diddy. You wanted to have Diddy money. You wanted to have Diddy influence. You wanted to have Diddy relevance. You didn't want to be Sean Combs. But Sean Combs was a way of getting things done. So as long as that's the case, that part of his persona and whatnot has not really been impacted.
Right.
It really hasn't been. And it would be different if it was just pure play, because it would be different if Cassie told you, look, me and Diddy never had no sex. I was just there to be window dressing. Oh, he had number boyfriends. That would be different, but it's not. You brought in a gang of women and a gang of dudes. And what I'm saying is that at best, you're going to say he's bisexual. At best. Right. But what you can't really say is that he don't like women like that. So that's what I'm saying. It wasn't anything we didn't already know. Tell me one thing that you found out about him during this trial that you didn't already know.
That's true. I heard those rumors, but I didn't. I dismissed them for a long time.
If Will Smith gets indicted tomorrow, it's not going to be a scandal that you say he had boyfriends. Okay, we already knew that. It might be a scandal that he's on drugs. It might be a scandal, that he's gambling with midgets. But it won't. You're not going to scandalize him by saying, Will got a boyfriend. Will and August Alsina. It's okay. Well, we already knew that. So a trial isn't going to present something we didn't already know. So right. That's not going to hurt him. Bring us something we didn't already know. Now that could hurt him, especially if he was denying it. But bring us something we didn't already know.
Okay. All right. With this whole situation now, I'm gonna try my best to word what I'm gonna say, but please, I don't want this to be considered a form of gangsterism. But years ago, we had a code, especially with people out here running their mouths. I say that to ask this question: do you kind of believe? Because I'm leaning towards it. The judge kept him locked up with no bond, so he wouldn't because Diddy has a lot of connections that he possibly wouldn't harm or touch certain witnesses that was gonna come and see that was gonna testify against him.
Diddy ain't gonna mess with nobody. Diddy wasn't gonna mess with anybody in the first place.
Okay.
So no, none of that was happening. None of that. That wasn't. This is all just being vindictive because Diddy came to court. The case was weak, and he was able to defeat them on their own ground. So Now I will tell you, I would like to believe that all the folks who went to court snitching and everything else, I'd like to believe that there will be some type of backlash for that. Unfortunately, we don't have that anymore. I think the Tekashi 6ix9ine case proved that. So Streets is dead in that regard.
Well, wait, please. I'm not trying to cut you off, big brother. Wait, with all due respect, I can't really say that, brother. You did a program just 2 years ago in, I want to say, May of 2023. Tekashi got his ass whooped out there in Florida.
Yeah, but that was a fluke, bro. I mean, what I'm saying, that's really not the streets wholesale, because for there was that one incident, but then he's at shopping malls. He had other rappers working with him. Gunna after the Young Thug case. We got issues with that. So unfortunately, the 65 Mama's Boy generation, Gen X, Gen Y and Gen Z, and
they're taking over.
For my generation, the street code was weak. For their generation, the street code is dead. Everything's a joke. Everything's a game. Everybody's a snitch. Everybody's a sissy. Everybody's weak. So street rules, and street credibility and actual character, being a stand-up person, they don't have that. Their daddies weren't that. Their granddaddies weren't that. So nobody's really representing integrity. The folk who went there to court, anybody who was even on the periphery of that, Kid Cudi or whoever, it's like, wait a minute, nigga, you shouldn't be able to go nowhere and use your name. Your name should be dirty as hell. If you walked up in that courtroom talking about Diddy, you supposed to be done. Nobody's supposed to be fooling with you. Period. Hey, bruh, you went in there talking. You went in there talking. So the only folk who could go do that is a bunch of washed up people who never had nothing in the first place, because anybody with any credibility, you can't go up in there and be talking. Cassie, you're done, baby. You done. Why would you're gonna have to sit over there with Alex Cuck Fine the rest of your damn life? Who in the hell's gonna fool with you? You're a certified snitch.
Mm-hmm.
You're a certified snitch. You took the stand. You pointing fingers for days. Why in the world would a person want to put their future in your hands? And as far as the business is concerned, who the hell wants to do an album with you, do a feature with you, stand next to you? Who the hell wants to do that? Because if the men did that, it'd be, oh, you weak and this, that, and the other. They jumped on, at least they criticized Tekashi and the rest of them for that. Oh my God, that should apply for her too. You know, anybody walked up in there and said something, that's it, you done. You're done. You can't show your face. You don't have nothing to say. I wish we had more integrity in that regard. Period.
Right. Now, I do have this question because there's a lot of lessons to be learned from this. Let's go back to this nasty bitch Cassie, because she exemplified what a real humanized female dog really is, as far as because I have nothing nice to say about that woman. She violated the contract. I'm pretty sure, I think you did a program on it. Wasn't there a non-disclosure agreement with that settlement? And she violated that anyway to take the stand? If I'm correct, right?
Remember, okay, here's the issue that we have.
Okay.
And I explained this before with Diddy and Vince McMahon, so y'all can go back to my program from a year or two ago where I explained all this.
Mm-hmm.
NDAs are private agreements. The government has already made it clear a private agreement does not protect you from a crime. So that's why all these lying females have had jumped out and they have to accuse you of a crime so they can violate the NDA. Tiger Woods and his girlfriend, y'all saw what happened. He literally was like, hey, I want you out my house. Next thing you know, she grabs a dirtbag lawyer and then says, oh, he committed a crime against me. He sexually assaulted me. Now, she should be in jail for that right now, for even saying that. But the bottom line is the lawyers have told everybody, okay, we can violate the NDA if a crime was committed. So did he commit a crime against you? Wink, wink. Oh yeah, I forgot. He sexually assaulted me. I forgot about that. Oh, okay, well then we don't have to abide by an NDA then. Wink, wink. So that's what's happening. In the case of Cassie, everybody who fools with Diddy already got an NDA. You can't be Diddy's girlfriend without it. Everybody got to sign an NDA, period. For those of you who do not know, those are the kind of parties and functions they got, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I showed you all last week, Jeff Bezos, you can't bring no cell phones. You're not going to have any celebrities saying anything about his wedding except I loved it. They're not going to give any details. So in the world that they inhabit, you can't be around these people in private without an NDA. Have you all wondered why it is you seen Leo DiCaprio with his girlfriends? You ain't never heard the girlfriends do an interview talking to you about him?
Never.
All them females, and yet you're not hearing anything. By the way, have you considered that that's the way it is with all of your Hollywood stars?
What? Damn!
You name them. Especially these dudes who, they got a new chick every week or whatever. The George Clooney's and whatnot. Have y'all realized that y'all just now realizing that, by the way, ain't none of their exes ever said nothing? They date this supermodel over here and this model over there, and you ain't never heard none of these women talk.
Mm-hmm.
So that didn't just begin with Diddy. That's the way it is. And it's always been that way. People just paid attention when they heard the name with Diddy. I'm saying, have y'all realized that this is the way it's always been? Nope. Okay, fine. But that's the way it's always been. Always. No, you cannot talk to them without signing one. They're not going to have that because it's too much of a chance. They're not going to have a one-night stand with you without it. We can't have a one-night stand until you sign on the dotted line. But he's not going to sit up here and do something that gives you the ability to sit up here and be a Corinne Steffens. Dudes started learning that's the goofy way to go. So they're not doing that. It's not happening. So you can't be with Diddy. You can't be one of Diddy's chicks, even casually, and you ain't signed. And I'm not talking about the record label. You can't do it and not be signed. So now with this case, you're hearing about all these women and all these men who never said anything. Well, yeah, they all signed. They had to do that as a condition of being in the room with him. He won't even be in the room with you. Case in point, more recently, Jeannie Ma showed up at Jeezy's place to come, quote, get her things. And Jeezy's manager was there, and she had like some movers there. It's all on video because she was recording it. And Jeezy's manager was there because Jeezy wasn't. And I get property manager or whatever. And she told the movers that they could not go inside if they didn't sign an NDA. They did not even want movers going in the house to help Jeannie Mai. They didn't even want folk walking around the house unless they signed an NDA. So what I'm saying to you all is that is a way of life. It's not new. Cassie had to sign it in order to be around Diddy at all. That's why when they broke up, you don't even know these people are broken up. Because ain't nobody said nothing. 1 minute you saw Diddy with Cassie and another female. Next thing you know, you see Diddy with just the other female and you ain't heard from Cassie anymore. You just don't hear from him. Same thing with Young Miami. 1 minute you got her. Next thing you know, he's with another female and Young Miami. Next thing you know, he's just with the other female and you ain't seen Young Miami in a minute. So that's the way that goes. Cassie was already under an NDA. New York allowed a temporary look back thing for all these scam ass lawyers, which by the way, if you do it for paternity fraud, that would be great. Men are going to have to push for those kind of things. And the lawyers signed up. So they basically, like that Tony Busby and the rest of them, they literally were taking out ads saying, if you've ever been in a room alone with Diddy, call the law offices of Get 'em, Got 'em, and Gone. That's literally what they've been doing. He literally sent out an open call for anybody who wants to sue Diddy, call my offices. And he's not the only one. There's several lawyers out there. There's a bunch of them. So Cassie got the call from one of them, and nothing has worked out for her since she stopped being with Diddy. She's a nobody. She's a nothing. She doesn't have anything. She lost it all over there. She's with Alex Fine, who is, a discount Vanilla Ice. So it's just all bad. It's all bad. He's a joke. She's a joke with him. Your music career isn't dead. Your music career is dead and decayed. And she's angry and upset and bitter. Alex Fine is never going to deliver a lifestyle within the cosmos of the one you were with Diddy. And the attorneys got to her and said, hey, how would you like for us to help you cash out? And she was like, okay, if Diddy don't want to answer the phone, otherwise, I bet you'll answer the phone for this. And add to that, and I'm pretty sure that Alex Fine was putting pressure on her because as the details of the freak offs were coming out, I'm sure Alex Fine was asking her, did you like it? Because that's what a man's going to ask. Mm-hmm. Did you like it? You were there for a decade. Oh, no, I didn't like it at all. It was terrible. It was awful. It was beat my ass. I was coerced. I didn't want to go. All those days, all those years, coast to coast, hotel after hotel. Okay. And then you see the trial. Oh, yeah, me and Diddy was at the freak off while I was ignoring your phone calls on FaceTime. By the way, the Diddy's lawyers did Alex like that in court. By the way, hey, Cassie, wasn't Alex trying to call you on this date on FaceTime? Yeah. And did you answer? No. What were you doing when you didn't answer? Because according to your records, you were at the freak off. Well, I don't know if it was the freak off or if I was just in bed with Diddy alone, but I don't remember which you. Imagine being a man in court and having to hear this. So just you ignored me because you and Diddy got to do what you and Diddy got to do. And now we know for a fact that there was what females do. Ladies, hold this L.
Oh, please.
Ladies, there was overlap from the time that Cassie, quote unquote, broke up with Diddy. Now we know that she did still have sex with Diddy after they, quote, broke up, which was during the time that she was starting to see Alex. So now the trial has shown that. The trial showed that, yeah, she was still sleeping with him after the, quote, breakup. Oh, the dates overlap. Okay. So now Alex might have been wondering before, but he's not wondering anymore. Now he knows. Oh, dude, we got the documentation. Yeah, she sure did. The whole time. Yeah, you and Diddy were sharing her for a couple of months. And then when Diddy was like, yeah, I got something younger and prettier, and just let her go. It's like, baby, I'm not going to bid the price up. If Alex wants you, fine. This is how much I'm going to give you, but you're not going to bid the price up on me. So if Alex is willing to take the used goods, we had a good run for a decade. She goes off with Alex. She can't say nothing. So they gave her a chance to cash out. She's angry and vindictive. And you got a legal system that's allowing people to do that. And that's where we are today. So the NDAs are supposed to be binding, but folks, the law has allowed people to lie with no penalty for doing so. But they're lying. Mm-hmm. They're saying a crime was committed so they can violate their NDA.
Brother, now that we see this, and because everybody clearly sees that Cassie was never happy with this guy, Alex, not so fine. All right. People were, because she had to sit down and still see Diddy shine, and she's sitting on a damn farm somewhere with her corny ass husband and her two half white kids now. But now that the Diddy beat the rap in most parts, he's not fully free. What do you think should be the appropriate punishment for a nasty bitch like Cass?
I mean, whatever Diddy was going to get, the bottom line is you're consenting adults, and this extortion racket running through the court systems and stuff, it's made a complete mockery of a system that was already in bad shape in public regard to begin with. Mm-hmm. So this kind of garbage right here should not be happening. The slip and fall lawyers have gone from picking up people in the produce section at supermarkets, to this garbage here. So this is the problem we got. It's a real problem. If you sent 2 or 3 of them to prison for doing that, you see it stop overnight. I'm sorry, the women and their attorneys. If you did that to 2 of them, that would be the end of that. So once again, that's going to be something you have to push for. Because as long as they're allowed to get away with that, that's what they're going to be doing. Right. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. We appreciate that. Understand something here. In the chat room, Hidden Curry said, do I still think that Diddy should have settled with Cassie? I said he never should have settled in the first place. I said from the very beginning that he shouldn't have settled in the first place. He was thinking that it might be a way of diffusing these people. Yeah, but I'm like, no, you should have settled in the first place. The only thing settling does is encourage people. So I never thought that was a good idea. I understand that some of his people might have thought that would get them off and thought there wouldn't be other people, but that doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything. When you feed the beast, there are going to be more of them. When sharks smell blood in the water, it's going to be more of them. Now, I also predicted Cassie and Alex's marriage is not going to last because if folk are suing Cassie now,
Damn!
Is Alex gonna really want to be drugged back into court all over again, and he might have to take the stand? What? Cassie being sued now, y'all do understand she's got millions of dollars now. So Alex could find himself in court. He could find himself deposed. He could find himself on the stand for his wife's actions. And what if she gets sued 2 or 3 times? What she just did to Diddy? What if she's getting ready to be on a conveyor belt of her own? What if Cassie wakes up and now she's going to be on a conveyor belt of lawsuits and Alex has to sit here and hear all the details, all the different STDs, all the women, all the crazy stuff, because she will be on trial for her STDs this time. This time she'll be sued intensively about her STDs. Now she either going to have to pull a Diddy and pay up, or she gonna have to go to court and get strung up, one or the other. But do you think Alex is gonna want to hear this 3 or 4 more times? Because now there are some other scumbag lawyers who've decided there's blood in the water. Does he really want to sit there and have to deal with this for the next 3, 5, 6 years? With lawyers suing you for free. They're not charging their clients anything. They planning on getting squeezing some of that Diddy money out your wife. Some of that money she got for that hotel from that video. They plan on squeezing her for some of that. Now it's your turn to get squeezed. Is Alex really going to want to deal with this for the next 3 to 5 years? Or is he going to be like, I've been married to you enough. I got the kids. Let me go ahead and file this divorce. Let me file this divorce and take half. And you go deal with them problems. So my prediction is Alex isn't really going to want to get drugged through court like this. That's my prediction. When they see how ugly this is about to get, he didn't sign up for this. He did not think he was signing up with Cassie Freakoff. That's not what he thought he had. He thought he had a little recessive chick who didn't have any better options, and she was going to have to just stick with him because she was washed up. He did not think that he was going to be famous for being Mr. Freakoff. That's not what he thought this was going to be. Not at all. Let me go ahead and jump back over here on Zoom again. Let me jump back on Zoom. Okay, we got Ambrosia here on Zoom. Ambrosia, what's on your mind?
I wanted to chime in about the first brother who called regarding the false charges that was put on him. And he asked, is this ever going to stop? And I honestly don't believe that it will truly stop until women start making other women accountable, because we know that, we have friends who are slimy and lie and that whole believe all women. But until we start making other women accountable, it's not going to stop. And I think a lot of women, they need to realize this could be your son. It could be your brother. It could be your dad. Women like Cassie who stay. I've been in the same situation. I've put myself in a situation that I knew I should not have been in. And when it went down and went bad fast, I got out of it. I didn't stay for 10 years. So nobody stays in that situation for 10 years unless they get something that they want out of it. And she was a willing participant, and she has friends and family who know she was a willing participant, but nobody called her out on it. And it's just going to continually happen. As long as women co-sign it, as long as women are allowed to get away with weaponizing victimhood, it's going to continue happening.
Yeah, I mean, we've entered an era of scam culture. Unfortunately, especially for young people, economically, they've been so destitute that, rug pulls for cryptocurrency and whatnot. I mean, that's really a crime. But you got young people scamming other young people, the young people grifting other young people. That's become the culture, and a culture of betraying each other, of your generation, of your set. And we got a lot of that going on. Now you've got lawyers in the system feeding into it. And that's completely poisonous. So when you say I'm making them accountable, I mean, absolutely. Females need to hold each other accountable socially. Absolutely. But it's really not going to stop until the men do it. As men, we have sat back. We don't go into politics because we're like, we're going to take a pay cut. We don't want to do that. So we're trying to go into corporate culture. We're trying to be entrepreneurs. We're trying to go where we feel like we can get the most financial, return on our investment of time. But as a result, we've surrendered the damn judiciary. We've surrendered it. And these are the people who took over. After we got up and said, okay, we'll leave that alone. And I guess we told ourselves that those institutions will take care of themselves. Or that our willingness to show up and vote every 4 years would keep them in line. And that's not what happened. What happened was we woke up one day and you have a judiciary that is a legal field, not just the judiciary. You have a legal field that is absolutely infested with con men, and people have always held lawyers in low regard. We've always known the lawyers were liars and held them in low regard. But we woke up one day and realized that the whole system is just infested with the lowlives, and that The part that we didn't understand was that they have animosity for us as men. The J.B. Pritzkers, and all their ilk, most of your governors, your mayors and whatnot, these are not stand-up people. They actually have contempt for other males. So they got into politics because it was revenge of the nerds. And we didn't understand it. These guys were never the cool kids. They were always on the outside looking in. They were always pushed out. They were always ostracized. They were always socially awkward. And they found a place for themselves in politics because there wasn't that much competition. The folk who pushed them out before, they were not competing to get into politics. And what did these folks say? Well, now I've got real power. Okay, you all didn't like me. You teased me, this, that, and the other. Now I've got real power. And what the hell have they done? They have gone on a crusade to make laws against us. Right there in our faces. So here, we'll lower your taxes. Oh, great. That's great. And I'm going to lock you up if the girls choose you and not me. You shouldn't have been with those chicks in the first place. Well, Pritzker, they weren't coming for you. Them chicks wasn't never going to choose you. Well, now they're not going to choose you either. And that's literally what we got going on. Literally. Yeah, the former governor of New York, Elliot Spitzer. Okay, well, he could lock you up for prostitution. He would be the first one to want to lock you up for Me Too. I mean, while he's running around with prostitutes, man. He's not the only one. Far from it. So as men, we've had to have a day of reckoning, and that's the conversation I'm starting, is that we start talking about, hey, by the way, most of these people out here, the reason why that's happening is they're males who don't like males. And they have no problem with making as hostile a sexual environment as possible because he's not a part of it. None of those guys are in competition for any desirable females. None. None of the females are trying to talk to them. So they have no problem absolutely criminalizing the environment of male-female relations because nobody's choosing them. Who the hell's choosing Gavin Newsom? Who the hell's lined up for that? They're not. And that's the problem. So as men, we got to get engaged. We got to put down the cell phones. We have to stop saying, okay, I got the bag and that's not my problem. We got to stop telling ourselves the system will run itself and the system will take care of itself. We have to divorce ourselves of that misnomer. The system is trying to take care of us, and by take care of us, I mean bury us. That's what the system is doing now. We have to stop pretending that it's benign. It isn't. It isn't. It's been weaponized while we were chasing our own personal interests. When we start focusing on that, then it'll change. Until then, and we have to also understand, we're going to have to fight everybody now because we left the damn house unguarded the whole time, so everybody's against us. The media, academia, corporate environment, the political environment, everybody's against us now because they figure they got us down and out and they got us where they want us. We have you helpless. We can strip you of your rights, strip you of your property, take your resources. We got the sweet spot. We can get you anytime we want to. And so we're going to have to be ready to fight all of them. They're going to be making documentaries and news pieces and everything else. And we didn't get into this overnight. You're not going to get out overnight. So yes, the women do need to hold women accountable, but the men are going to have to take control of our own fate and not let people think that it's okay to lie and victimize us and things and stop being easy targets. And that also includes us as men holding people accountable online. There's always some sissified beta male simp sucker out here who's trying to uphold the status quo because he thinks that's going to get him some easy sex. If I try to channel my inner male feminist, and that'll be the shortcut for me. And we got to get that fella up out of here too. When those guys show up as men, we got to have a hard line. Yeah, they have to be taken down immediately. We can't have any space for them whatsoever. That's what needs to happen. And then finally, there need to be strict penalties when folk do this stuff. And it needs to be in law, codified in the law. There need to be strict penalties for that. And that we insist that, mandatory minimums, no playing games. When that happens, you'll see it stop. You'll see it stop immediately. But until we get serious about that, I'd like to tell you it's going to continue going. It won't continue going. It'll get worse. Because you got some stuff going on in Europe that's absolutely draconian. Females to sit up here and say you the father of the baby with no blood test in France, for example. That's a thing in France now. Why do we need to have DNA tests? That's the thing in France today. And if you don't think they'll do that in America, you crazy as hell. I'll let you have the last word.
I also wanted to say to the women out there, to the ladies out there who are the strippers, who are the sex workers, if you got your OnlyFans and things like that, realize that these fake hoes out here are messing up your money. They messing the game up for you. Men love hoes. Hoes will never go anywhere. But you got these women out here just trying to get a quick grift, and they gonna mess it up for everybody else. You got to start gatekeeping. I mean, it's you already know what's going on. Start doing better. Start protecting your money, and protecting your money means protecting your clients. I mean, protecting the game in period. And you know, real hoes from these bras out here just trying to play and get a quick buck. Start protecting your profession if you want to keep it around. That's all I need to say.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. They hand out hoe rules, y'all. What? I ain't mad at you. Let the hoes flow. Let the hoes flow, and we are not hating on them here. Let them do what they do, as long as they keeping it honest. That's all I'm asking. They keep it honest. It's okay. We're gonna let them live. We're gonna let them live. Let me go ahead and jump back over here on Zoom. Okay, we got Arthur here on Zoom. What's on your mind, Arthur?
Hey, what's going on, Jason? I just got a quick question. I do agree with everything you saying that he makes like a phenomenal comeback. But what do you think about like the interviews of Terrence Howard saying like, "Yo, this man was inviting me over to try to sleep with me"? You don't think that plays like plays against him making a comeback, or does that mean like people are more accepting of him being like gay?
Okay, with all due respect, it's Terrence Howard.
Nigga, what?
With all due respect, it's Terrence Howard. So Terrence Howard jumping off the porch, making complaints. Orlando Bloom jumping off the porch, making complaints. It's like, on the one hand, it's like, okay, I hear you. On the other hand, you're Orlando Bloom, nigga. It's just, what do you expect me to say? So that's my response to that. I hear you. I see it. Yeah, but you Terrence Howard. So it's Terrence. All I can say, Terrence, is, oh well. Are you mad? Are you mad? You did, Terrence. What are you trying to say? Are you holding a grudge? Is it, you wish you'd have been there? The schedule didn't line up. I don't know.
So, and the last thing, so I'm here in Korea, and I get your broadcast from YouTube on Saturday afternoon, basically morning, and now I for your Patreon, I don't know if it's because I'm here, but I have your $100 a month subscription, and I don't know, I have to like connect to VPN to try to get to it, because usually when I was in the States, I get your broadcast from Patreon on time, because I have the one where, you as soon as you release it, I get it. But now I don't know if there's another like tier that I'm not getting now, but I think it's because I'm here in Korea. But is there another tier that you have that I'm not, that you don't post or something? Because now while I'm here, I don't get your Saturday.
No. If you're the business partner or more, no. So if you're having issues with that, I don't know why, but it starts around 12 noon Central Time. So no. I can't imagine. I don't know if it's a country thing or your provider or whatever, but no. I got folk from around the world who call in on Patreon. So
okay, all right, that's all I had, Jason.
All right, thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. We appreciate that. I wish Terrence Howard would jump up. I got something to say. I really got something to say. I don't know if y'all should fool with Diddy. You know, because 1 times 2 is 3.
Nigga, what?
So that's the problem right there, is y'all don't understand. It's 1 times 2 is 3. And I really do feel that if you all were taking this seriously, you would understand this. Okay. If somebody gonna take down Diddy, it ain't gonna be Terrence Howard. It's not gonna be him. Come on, man. I'm not saying somebody can't take Diddy down. It's just Terrence ain't gonna be you. So Terrence, don't think you the one for it. Don't do that. Do not do that. Why does it gotta be that way? That's the problem right there. I got blackballed in the industry and they're not listening to me like they're supposed to here. But you know, it's from the coefficient of the square root of infinity says that the freak-offs were illegitimate. And if I could just get y'all to understand, no, it's not Terrence. We need some. It's not Terrence. Look, here, folks, it wasn't easy to get next to Diddy. It's not like Diddy was going around kidnapping niggas. It wasn't like that. Diddy wasn't kidnapping people. So you're not going to sit up here and get somebody to, you know, you had to fight to get in Diddy's company. Okay, if you didn't want to go the freak offs, you ain't got to go. It's invitation only anyway. Let's just be honest, folks. If you wanted to get in, you had to fight to get in. If you didn't get in, wasn't nobody like, you know, if you don't go to freak off, you ain't going to have a career. It wasn't like that. There was nobody sitting up here, you know, if you don't go to freak off, man, I don't know we can deal with you or do business with you if you can't go. It's like, dude, if you actually got a ticket to ride and you didn't punch your ticket, okay, wasn't nobody hurting themselves to force you to go, make you go. And well, we need to figure out, you know, it's not going to be a party till Terrence Howard show up. Damn. I mean, yeah, I know everybody else here, but I mean, the party ain't really popping till Orlando Bloom get here. What? Man, this party whack. I thought Terrence Howard was going to be here. This is a whack-ass party. I didn't know. Call me back when Terrence show up. Call me back when Cat Williams show up. No disrespect to Cat. But I'm just saying, have you ever been to a public function? Damn, I thought Cat Williams gonna be here. Man, this is bogus. Call me back when Cat show up. I'm gone. So it's never been like that. It's never been that way. No disrespect to him, but it's just that was not what it was. I mean, like I say, it's out there. You know, at this point right now, it's out there. The other thing is, there's no question you could ask Diddy that he doesn't see coming. So if you have even a fractionally competent public relations person, or him, he's been in the business so long, he's been in the public eye for so long. You know, if you don't have a fractionally competent public relations person to walk you through how to deal with this or how to address this, or, you know, if you don't have that, man, you in trouble. Man, you're in trouble. So in Diddy's case, I'm just saying this should be easy. This should be easy. There shouldn't be anything hard about this. There shouldn't be anything difficult about this. This should be easy. You already know what folk are going to say. It's like running for political office. You know what they're going to say. You know what they're going to do. You know what they're going to drag out. You already know what their criticisms are going to be, so there's no reason you should lose. None. Jason, well, what about, y'all are not going to like this. I'm going to go there. I'm going to do it. Well, Jason, what about the Cassie video? Nigga, I was high. I was stoned. I was drunk. I already told you I was on them drugs. This is not me. What are you going to say to that? You see, you didn't give Charlie Sheen a hard time.
Damn!
Let's be clear about that. All these white folk in Hollywood, you didn't give them a hard time about that. I was high, I was stoned, okay, I was on drugs. All right, I'm clean now. Leave me alone. Okay, that worked for Charlie Sheen and the rest of them folk. It worked for them. It worked for Robert Downey Jr. It worked for him. Okay, well, Diddy was high too. Diddy was high and stoned too. All right, what else you got? Say it right there. Man, I was on that narcotic. Don't you see I was walking around with a damn IV like I was at the ER? I was on that narcotic. That's it, bruh. Okay, what else you got? So as I say, this is 101, man. This is not hard. This is textbook. It's only going to fail if you don't even try. If he just doesn't even attempt to defend himself. That's the only way it fails. Oh, I've offended some people tonight. They figured it was going to go a different way than it did. I've offended some folks. But the bottom line is, it's very navigable. And if he doesn't go running from it, I predict that's the way he'll go in. I can't imagine the public relations person didn't already tell him this. I can't imagine they didn't already tell him this. So, no, if they get with him, that's what it'll be. The only way that this doesn't work is if he just decides he just wants to recede from public view. It's been too much. He doesn't want to say anything. That's the only way it goes in the other direction. Other than that, nope. And besides, the government and the media have already worked for the last 4 decades to create a completely degenerate culture. So he fits right in. The only way it doesn't work is if he doesn't want it to, but other than that, he fits right in. So we'll see how it goes. Tonight you have received the definitive exegesis. Look it up. You have received the definitive explanation of how I predicted events are going to go. So Diddy is either going to become a complete recluse. He's going to go into complete seclusion. That's an option. If he chooses that, though, he didn't have to. He did it because he wanted to. If he leans into it, he'll be the biggest thing ever. If he leans into it sloppily, there is a third option. If he just does a sloppy job of leaning into it, and I'm not saying that can't happen, but if he does a sloppy job of leaning into it, makes a bunch of stupid statements like what he was doing before he went to prison, before he got locked up in prison, if he just completely fumbles it and starts making up a bunch of stupid things as opposed to just being dead serious, if he fumbles it, then yeah, he'll snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. If he does that, then he will have snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. But it's not because it had to be. So we will see how things unfold. We will continue monitoring this. We'll continue keeping our eyes and our ears open. There is more to see. And we just gotten started on it. So we'll see where it goes. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. I want to thank everyone who has contributed toward tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Shy Hitter River Ashes, Pharaoh's Kingdom, Marco Channon, Ripside, Alonda. Thank you very much. They got their heels on. Thank you all very much for your support. If you are new here to the business, welcome to the program that all your favorite YouTubers love to hate watch. Click that red subscribe button. Click that yellow notification bell. Join us each and every time that we're here. If you haven't been to our Patreon, the link is in the description. We do it every weekend, 12 noon Central Time. You are more than welcome to join us. Hope you learned something here tonight. I want to thank all of you for tuning into tonight's program live or recorded. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business or the business will handle you.